Do you have recognized the wonderful piece of art work that is our planet Earth home? It is indeed a thing of beauty. All your friends, relatives, friends, everyone live on this blue ball in a solar system. Green planet, green forest, huge mountains, flowing rivers, different species of animals, birds, insects, everything you can see on the surface of the earth, which has to be of 6,500 kilometers from the center of the planet. So now what exactly is happening in the interior part of the earth? This earth made up of? This might be a question in front of you. So students, today we are going to be a geologist and study the interior of the earth.
Class, let's start to study about this mysterious planet. Geography Chapter 2, Inside Our Earth. So, in this chapter, we are going to cover topics like interior of the earth, rocks and minerals, uses of rocks and rock cycle. So, let's start. Earth as a dynamic planet. Now, why we called Earth as a dynamic planet? Because inside the Earth there is constantly changes going on. The temperature inside the Earth increases by 1 degree for every 60 feet you go down. So, students, as you go down by 60 feet, after each 60 feet, 1 degree Celsius, the temperature increases. Okay, students. The scientists who study rocks and the earth's layer are called geologists. So today we are going to be geologists. Yes or no? We are going to study about the rocks and interior of the earth. The movement of material deep within the earth may cause large change on its surface. Okay, students. The Earth has a diameter of about 12,756 kilometers. So, as the Earth planet is dynamic planet, it's constantly changes. Okay, students. So, let's start with the next part. Interior of the Earth. Students, we can easily observe and understand the exterior of the earth, but it is practically impossible to study the earth's interior in the similar way. It is because the temperature inside the earth increases as depth increases. Okay, so it is necessary to know the structure of earth as the nature of changes that takes place on the surface depends upon the process that takes place inside the earth. So, interior of the earth. Earth is just like an onion which is made up of several concentric layers with one inside the other. Now students, here the word concentric means all the circles has its one center. Okay, so the earth is just like an onion which is made up of several concentric layers with one inside the other. Now students, here you can again compare the interior of the earth with one of the food item. You need to find it out. Okay students. Now the interior of the earth. Okay, the there are three layers of the earth. Students, the three layers of the earth are as follow: crust, mantle, and core. So we can say roughly say that the interior of the earth is made up of three things: crust, mantle, and core. So this picture will clear the idea to you. See students, the upper part crust, below crust we have mantle, below that we have core. Now again core is divided into outer core and inner core. Okay students, now let's study one by one. Number one, the crust. The uppermost layer over the earth's surface is called as crust. So the uppermost layer, out of all the three layers, the uppermost layer is the crust. Now this is the thinnest of all the layers. Out of all the three layers, the crust is thinnest layer. It is less than 1% of the earth's volume. So if we take 100% down below the earth, out of that only 1% is the crust. Now this crust is fragmented with many plates which float on mantle. Now fragmented means into broken pieces. So the crust is what we can say a plates of broken pieces which floats on mantle. Now why it floats on mantle we will study in the next part when we are studying about the mantle. And when these plates come closer and get hit each other, it results in an earthquake. Okay student, so as I told you earlier that the what we can say the nature of change that takes place on the surface depends upon the process that takes place inside the earth. So when these plates come closer and hit each other results in an earthquake. So this is one of the example that certain changes takes place into interior part of the earth and the result is can be seen at the surface. Okay, so that is the crust. Now again crust is divided into two types, or we have two types of crust. First is continental crust and second is oceanic crust. So see the picture students. So the crust below the continent is known as continental crust, and the crust which is below the ocean floor, that is known as an oceanic crust. Okay, so two types of crust, continental crust and oceanic crust. Now let's start with the continental crust. Now continental crust is made up of two minerals, silica and alumina. Hence it is called as Sila. It is called as Sila, where Si means silica and Al means alumina. So the total continental crust is about 35 kilometers on the continental mass. So below the continent we have 35 kilometer depth of continental crust. So see students, Sia, Si and Al, Sila, that is silica and alumina. Now this silica is used in a chemical industries, glass industries. Alumina is also used to manufacture plugs, taps and many things. Okay, so that was all about the continental crust. Next is oceanic crust. Now it is made up of again two minerals, silica and magnesium. Okay, so it is called as SEMA, where Si is again meant by silica and Ma means magnesium. It is about only 5 kilometers on the ocean floor. So below the ocean floor it is just 5 kilometers, where continental crust is 35 kilometers. So see students, Si plus Ma, SEMA, silica and magnesium. Already I have told you the meaning of silica. Magnesium is used somewhere in the medicines also students. Okay. Next comes the mantle. Beneath the crust means below the crust we have second layer, that is mantle. It extends up to the depth of 2900 kilometers. So once the crust is finished, then the mantle starts, and it run till 2900 kilometers down the crust. It forms the 16% of total volume of Earth's surface. So only 1% was the crust, 16% is the mantle. It consists of hot, dense, semi-solid rocks. So semi-solid rocks, what we can say, in a slurry form. So because of this, the fragmented, that is broken pieces of plates float in the on crust, on this mantle. Okay students, so that is mantle. Next is the innermost part, that is core. This is the innermost layer of the earth, core. It has the radius about 3500 kilometer. So it consists it has the radius of 3500 kilometers. Okay. Now, this core is made up of nickel and iron. So it is called as knife. Ni is equal to nickel and Fe is ferrous, that is iron. Now, it has a very high temperature and pressure. So the core has very high temperature and pressure. So students, I told you about that crust covers 1%, mantle covers 16%. Now you have to find out how much percent does the core makes. Okay, how much percent the core makes. Now this core is again divided into two parts, inner core and outer core. Okay students, so that was all about today. We studied the three layers of the earth. First one is the crust, second mantle, and third one core. So remaining part we will discuss in the next session. Okay students, till then, thank you.